Boss fights are my favorite part of video gaming, but sometimes they're really freaking hard. Would you expect a game like Banjo-Tooie, that really freaking easy game, to have a big tank with a witch armed with trivia questions, mortar cannons, lasers, poisonous gas, batteries, and spells? Yeah, I would. So this countdown is just a list of the bosses I've faced that have just made me ask, why? In my opinion, the Final Hazard was much harder than the Bio-Lizard for one reason. You're in space. Your controls are hindered. And you have to play as both characters at the same time. I mean, sure you alternate, but if one runs out of rings, then the other one's dead. How screwed up is that? Frank took me hours on end to beat. I know some of you are like, hey, how can you hate Frank? You know, he's only got 63 HP. Yeah, but does his robot have 63 HP? No. No, he does not. And that's why I hate Frank. Now, to be fair, Andros didn't really take me that long, but yeah. Is there any reason why we should have to fight this guy 3 times? 3 freaking times? And on the last time, he turns into a brain with homing missile eyes. He's incredibly hard to hit. You have to do the ricochet off the walls thing, which is very hard to do because he follows you. If you heard my last countdown and you heard me say, A Link to the Past Ganon has to be the hardest thing I've ever faced in anything, that's a lie. He's really not that hard, but yeah. He took me hours. He's one of those bosses that's like, what do I do? Weldar was hard. There's no getting around that one. He was really freaking hard. You have to deal with his 3 forms, which are actually the same thing, he just does different things. But then he electrocutes the floor. So you have to beat him by jumping over every crack in the floor. But he's not the hardest boss in Banjo-Tooie. Speaking of which, I know he's the first boss, second counting Klungo, but Target Zan was incredibly hard, especially considering the next boss is Old King Cole. In comparison, just wow. Also, Target Zan has mouths everywhere. He'll shoot darts at you from all angles. You can't run from them. He's too freaking fast. You have to hit him in the targets and then hide, and then hit him in the targets and then hide. You have to do this 4 times, each time defeating those weird little dog soldiers. He's very hard. And he self-destructs at the end to kill you. Yeah. Mothula took me 8 tries the first time I tried to beat her. 8 tries. And if you lose, you have to go do the whole temple again. Not like the collecting and stuff, you just have to go through it again. The only chance you have at beating her is with the fire rod. And if your magic runs out, don't even try. Just die, because she's gonna beat you one way or another. Mike Tyson. Let's keep this short and sweet. All of his attacks are one-hit KOs. Yeah, you can see where I had trouble on this guy. Donkey Kong 64 was a very hard game. Needless amounts of backtracking pretty much sums it up. You have to go do pretty much every world with every Kong. But, to be fair, all of the bosses were pretty easy. Except for one. Mad Jack. It took me 17 tries to get this guy. 17 tries! That took me 2 hours. The worst part about this guy, if you fall, it's almost as bad as dying. You have to start that whole thing over again. And to top it all off, he gets a laser attack that will knock you off the platform, and if you have only one watermelon left, kill you. Not to mention, he goes invisible on the last hit. So you're pretty much just hopping around in the dark. Now, I don't know the name of this boss because it's in Japanese, but yeah, you can tell he already looks hard. But you know what those little purple dots are? Enemy bullets! Can you imagine trying to dodge any of that? You get hit by like 3 of them, and you die. And look how long its health bar is. This thing is next to impossible. I couldn't even beat this thing. I couldn't even get past stage 1 of him. So, anyway, I guess the Hag 1 isn't really the limit of how hard something can be. This has been Grenade Gamer 15, and Donkey Kong 64.